And good evening. Breaking news tonight. The man accused of helping his girlfriend hide her daughter's body in a closet has now been arrested.
Police took Santiago Esparza into custody 24 hours after issuing a warrant for his arrest. Janelle Baluta is live downtown with the new developments. Janelle?
Well, Esparza was arrested just hours ago, right before 5 tonight. We're hoping this finally gives us the answers as to what happened to Sierra. With a rap sheet riddled with violence, Santiago Esparza's criminal history dates back more than a decade. Police say Esparza is a known gang member, and public records show that he has convictions for assault and injury to a child, his own son, throwing him against an unknown object. Prosecutors say Esparza was the first to go to detectives earlier this week, thinking there was a warrant for his arrest. Even after deputies told him there was none, he agreed to let them question him. At the time, they did not have enough evidence to charge him, so they let him go. But that's changed now. Interviews with the girl's mother, Priscilla Torres, gave them the evidence they needed, charging Esparza today. 3 days after the mother was arrested, Torres is charged with tampering with evidence, a human corpse. Firefighters first found the 5-year-old wrapped in blankets in a closet in Esparza's apartment Monday afternoon. Sierra had chemical burns on her body, which had been there for days. The mother's story on what happened has changed, but she claims it all happened in the bathtub, telling officers it was an accident. Police and prosecutors still do not know if Esparza played any role in Sierra's death, but they do believe he was involved in hiding her in the closet. Now he's arrested, also charged with tampering with evidence. Well, we're hoping an official autopsy will tell us exactly how Sierra died, but we are still waiting for that to be released. Lena Mia?
Janelle will take it from here, reporting live from downtown. Thank you.